Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Steve, the Ancient Explorer. Today I've made my way down to the Old Maryborough Town Site. Now Maryborough is about a 3-hour drive north of Brisbane. If you're into a bit of history, this is the place to come and have a look. There's plenty of history here. This was the original town site of Maryborough, a thriving little hub. It was established by someone named George Ferber in 1847 and used to be known as the Wide Bay Village. This little area was like a complete little hub. It had several stores, including an inn, a jail, a pub, and it was thriving in the 1850s. Okay, let's have a look around. So we just make our way into this little pergola area in the park, and I'll just sort of go through this. It does acknowledge the local indigenous people, the Butchulla people, whose ground that we are on today. I do know that there were a lot of clashes between the Butchulla people and some of the early colonisers, which didn't end real well, according to a gravestone that we will have a look at it in a little while. So if we do have a bit of a look around the grounds, as you can see, there's not really a whole lot left here, but all there really is there's some graves down the other end, and there's some plaques. If you walk around, you will come to some plaques, and I'm assuming this will show you where some of these things were that we were just talking about. Okay, so this is just a bicentennial plaque. Off we go. Now there's one interesting fact here, is that there's thought to be well over 150 pioneers buried around this place. No one knows where they are, what their names are, how old they were when they died. They're just thought to be everywhere. So this place is literally built on a graveyard. Okay, so I'm just having a bit of a walk through. At the moment it just appears to be just some open space with some trees. I'm sure there was a lot more than that here once upon a time. So just up ahead, we've got our first little section of graves. So I'll get a bit closer. I do suspect that this might be George Ferber's grave himself, who was the actual person who established the Wide Bay Village. Let's just have a little look down here. Now I'll just show you the graves. That you can't really see what's on them because they're that old and weathered. Yes, and as I thought, this is the grave site of George Ferber and Joseph Thomas Wilhurst, I think. Okay, so with two little like grave sites and over 150 unmarked graves, you'd have to think this would be a pretty good place to come and do a paranormal investigation, I would think. It is actually marked as one of the paranormal sites in this town. Okay, so just across the road from George Ferber's gravesite, there's another little marked grave area with several graves in it. Judging from what's written on the tombstone behind me, it was one of the people marked on there was actually attacked by some of the natives of the area in those early years of colonisation, and as you can imagine, there was a lot of really nasty stuff by our government done to our Indigenous people back then, and I don't mind holding that view. I think it was wrong. Okay, so I'll just get you a bit of a close-up of this stone, and it does kind of tell a story about how two of these people were murdered down by the creek. Yeah, I'm thinking this will be a very spooky place to visit at night. Kind of thinking I might have to come back. What do you guys think? How about if I can get like 100 likes on this video, I'll come back and do a paranormal investigation at night by myself. See how that goes. Okay, so I'm just continuing walking around the grounds here, but I thought I might just brush up on some more of the history. Now, there was this settlement and there was another one on the other side of the river further up. Now, neither of these sites ended up being very successful because the spots on the river weren't deep enough. So what's actually happened is they've decided in around the 1867 that, hey, this isn't really doing the job it needs to. We need to move this town over a bit because there's deeper water at another area. And so they up and moved the town to where it is today. You know, it's pretty fascinating, but it's true. So if you are into your history and you do decide to come down to the Old Maryborough Town Site, there is actually like a nice little barbecue area here in the park. So you can come down, have a look around, have some lunch, go for a stroll on some bush tracks. Yeah, you can really make like a lunch and afternoon of it if you like. Okay, so I'm just heading down towards one of the little bush tracks directly off that picnic area that I just showed you. As you can see, we're approaching a little bridge where there's a little creek going through. And this is the Mooging Bridge. Like, it almost sounds like a swear word, doesn't it? But it's not. So there is an Indigenous story here too. I'll just read some of it quickly. It says, the ibis and his 4 wives had been on walkabout and were returning to Gurry, which was Fraser Island. They camped overnight with Mooging and his family. Mooging showed the ibis the spearheads, picks and tomahawk heads he had made from the stones he gathered on the mountainside, Mount Bopple. The ibis coveted the stone implements, for there are no stones on Fraser Island at all. The ibis then misled Mooging into believing that Meelong, which was a spirit which lived on the mountaintop, would be very angry because the stones had been taken. During the night, the ibis's 4 wives stole the articles and they set off silently for their home. In the morning, Mooging thought that Meelong had taken the stone implements, so he went to the mountaintop, apologised to Meelong and asked permission to gather more stones. Meelong laughed and invited Mooging to watch his magic fire. Well, look, that's a lovely story, but I'm sure I've read enough of that to give you the idea. Alright, straight into like a little bush path over Mooging Bridge. And we're just coming up upon another little bridge here. I'm not sure where this goes, but there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Let's put this back on the track. Geez, it's like it's turned from like almost bare nothing to like being in a rainforest. Okay, so that little track came out into another little area, but what I've noticed is there's this big beautiful house behind me, very old. I'm kind of wondering, is that where George Ferber himself might have lived? Hey, don't quote me on it, but who knows? Let's go have a closer look. You can just sort of see behind the trees there, this is a big place. Very well kept. Very old. That may well could have been the residence of George Ferber. Who knows? If anyone does know, please, put something in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, this is just a little bit of a closer look. Like, look at the state of this place. It's beautiful. It's even got like a little outhouse for for the mother-in-law to live in. Geez, look at that balcony up top, and it's very well kept gardens. Geez, I'd really like to get inside and have a look, but somehow I don't think I'm going to be allowed to. I don't want to get arrested. I'm just having a little pan over the backyard of that house. Like, there's some pretty intricate gardens, and it does appear that there is actually like someone living there. I did spot some items of washing on the clothesline. Well, such a shame I can't get in there and have a good look around. That balcony up on the second floor goes right around by the look of it. What a stunning place. Okay, so I've walked around the house a bit. Now this is another view from behind the house, where I showed you the front earlier. So the back's just as impressive. Lots of intricate gardens. You can see that house still looks like it's fairly well maintained and livable. I really do need to get some more information on this house. It does look pretty special. Yeah, just to make sure I give you guys a decent view of what I'm seeing. You really do get the sense that someone important did live in this house. Just another view of the grounds of that house from a different angle. And then just behind me, there seems to be some sort of gravel yard, but just on the other side of that is actually the Mary River. So that was part of the placement of this town, was to be next to that river and use it as a port. It just so happened it didn't end up being deep enough here, and they found a better location on the other side of town. But that's how it goes. Let's see if we can just get a little spot of the river. If you can see it, that's that dark area over there. Okay, so here's the Mary River, and just to give you an idea, I'll just pan around behind me, and straight back there is the house that we were just all looking at. So very close to the river, and of course right near the port, I would imagine. Okay, so I'm just going to make my way back. I think the only way back to where my car is through that same little trail over Mooging Bridge. I did not expect to find this house here. That was pretty amazing. Like, there really is like plenty of things to keep someone busy, to bring their family out for have a look around the grounds. soak in a bit of history, learn a bit about the early settlement of Maryborough. Back in the day, this was a pretty important port. I think it was almost going to be made one of the biggest ports in Queensland at one point, until they found a better place. Thank God they did. I shouldn't say that, Maryborough not that bad. Anyway, as you can see, this place is still maintained. We've got like a dude on a tractor mower doing his rounds. Yeah, so it is usually kept very well mowed. I've been out here a few times. I've never actually explored this part of it, but today I'm glad I did. Okay, so I'm still just around the other side of the house, closer to the front. I've just stumbled across this little stairway that goes up into the grounds here. So this would have been probably like their front gate, where you, and a little opening, you could walk up the stairs and go and greet Mr. Ferber himself, I imagine. Like, honestly, I've just like walked around another side of the house, and it's like there's another front of it. Like every angle of this house, front, back, sides, all looks like a front with a door, big balcony going around. Yeah, it's definitely someone important living there. Okay, I've come across this gate. Oh, it looks like it's locked. I can't get through. Oh well, there's just no way around it, is there? And look at this, there's another one. There's another gate. It's like someone's taken the fences away and just left the gates. Very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up now. Very glad I did actually come out here. Very pleasantly surprised to find that house. You can't see it from the road when you come in here. You've got to actually head down the tracks. So yeah, so that's the Old Maryborough Town Site, everyone. If you do like my videos, please like and subscribe. And remember my offer, if I get 100 likes on this video, I'll come back and do a paranormal investigation at night. Not near that house though, I'm not coming down this bit at night. Unless, like, I'll get something crazy like 5,000 likes, then I'll do it. See, it's up to you, people. It's up to you.